Hey U7, this is exercise 2E, which is on problems with parallel lines, and is on page 87 of your textbook. Alright, so for this exercise, it's really an extension of what we did last time, right? So an extension in the sense that it's using the same skills we've learned over the last couple of lessons throughout this exercise, and throughout this chapter, sorry, but we're just adding an extra couple of steps. So the important thing to understand is that some geometrical problems require a combination of two or more ideas before a solution can be found. So, just as a quick revision on this side, I'm going to go ahead and draw our parallel lines. So these two being parallel. I know they're not exactly parallel, but let's assume they are. Let's call this one A, this one A. That would be, oops, let's call it B, sorry. A, B are alternate. Actually, let's go ahead and use different colors instead. That might make it a bit easier. So if I have green is alternate, sorry, corresponding, my apologies, corresponding, and this is just revision from last lesson, so if you already have those notes, feel free to just take a look at those. So if they've gone this way, that's vertically opposite, we've got going this way, that would be alternate. And finally, we've got co-interior, which I don't, oh, there we got another extra color. So co-interior. Remember, co-interior is not the same angle, it's actually adding up to 180. Okay, co-interior, and that would be sum, to 180 degrees. Okay. All right. So just just taking a look at that, we can actually go ahead and do a couple of steps in order to try and solve these questions. So the question A says find the value of A in these diagrams. So I need to find this angle right there. Okay. Now let's start with what we know. We know that this is 170 degrees. We know that this is 90 degrees. Now we actually know that this total should be 360, right? Remember our revolution is 360 degrees. So this is 90, so I can actually find this angle right there. I can say that, let's zoom in. I can say that angle, now remember how to write your angle. So angle FDE, you can write you can write angle EDF, that's fine as well. That plus 90, so that's from over here, plus 170 should equal to 360 degrees, okay? So I'm going to take away 90 and then take away 170. So what I can do is instead, I know that 360 degrees minus 170 degrees minus 90 degrees equals to our angle of FDE, okay? So 360 minus 170 gives me, 360 minus 170 gives me 190. 190 take away 90 degrees gives me 100. So this one right here, so it's 100 degrees equals to FDE. So that one right there is 100 degrees. Awesome. Now we know that's 100 degrees. Remember these lines here, they're parallel. And I know that because I've got the arrow here, right? Which makes them parallel. So since I know they're parallel, what I can do is I know that that's 100 degrees right there. And I know that this is corresponding, yeah? Let's go ahead and do that. So corresponding, which means that A, because of corresponding angles, I'm not going to bother writing it, we know that A equals to 100 degrees. Perfect. Okay, let's go ahead and do the next one. So you see how I use two different steps? Let's go ahead and do the same thing. So over here, I've got two parallel lines. So I'm going to go ahead and extend them out a bit. I know they're parallel once again because of these arrows. Now, this one's 8 degrees. That's what I need to find. This one's 70, and this one is 60 over here. I need to use what I know in order to try and solve this. So because this is 60, now I'm going to go ahead and extend our transversal line that goes all the way up here. Okay. Now, because I know that, what I can do is I know that I know that inside this right here, this is 60 degrees. Using an alternate understanding, so alternate angles, I know that this one over here, that's also 60 degrees. 60 degrees. Okay, so that's 60 degrees. Now, I know that a triangle, and I think you guys might know this, so a triangle inside adds up to, equals sum of 180 degrees. Okay, so a triangle has a sum of 180 degrees on the inside. There's 60 here, 70 there, and the last one's A, right? So I know that 180 degrees, take away 60, take away 70, gives me an answer of A degrees, okay? And that, if I put in the calculator, it's 120, 120 minus 70 gives me 50 degrees. A is equal to 50 degrees. So once again, it's step by step, just making sure that we know where we're getting the reasoning from. Let's do one more example. So find the value of A in this diagram. So A is this one over here. Okay, so that's the angle right there. I need to be able to solve that. Let's find out what we know. I know that that's 60. And because that's 60, once again, I'm going to extend my parallel lines. Once again, parallel because they have the arrows there. Because it's 60 there, I can use corresponding angles. I know that's also 60. Okay? And since I know that's 60, this is a supplementary line, right? It's a straight line. So it should add up to 180. Since it's 60 on this side, 120 adds up to 180. So I can say that's 120 degrees here. Since that is 120 degrees, I also know that's a right angle because it's got the square, right? So that means it's 90 degrees. Now, I can actually go ahead and try and solve this. But before I do that, this is a point right there. It's a vertex. I know that across a vertically opposite, it's the same angle, so that's also 60 degrees. Now I've got a full circle. I'm going to go ahead and draw it so that we can try and make sense of it. Something like that. Okay, so I've got this side, that's 90 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and write 90. This one is 60, so I'm just copying what we see over here on the right-hand side. Okay, 60. This one's 120, and that's 60. Okay, there's two ways we can do this. One, I can go ahead and say that the total is 360. So I can say 360 degrees, take away 120, take away 60, take away 60, take away 90, gives me my answer, which is A. Or I can say that, well, I know that these are both 60, right? Those are both 60, which means that this one over here, that's 120, and this total, let's use a different color actually. It's 120, which means that the other side of the vertically opposite angle should be 120. So A degrees plus 90 degrees equals to 120. Now, what angle does A have to be in order to get 120? What angle do I add 90 to get 120? 30 degrees. So A equals to 30 degrees. Hopefully that makes better sense. It's a couple of steps, and if you don't know where to begin, just start with what you know. Okay? Best of luck.